Hi, it's Camille. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a better way to have conversion paths on your website, especially if you're using HubSpot, and particularly in the blog section, so that you can have more conversion through folks reading your blog on your website. So turning that awesome content into conversion opportunity. We've done this for many years, and through the evolution of both the HubSpot tool and content marketing, we're now looking at a better way to convert through blog posts. Long before the pop-up form tool in HubSpot, we used to have a call to action at the bottom of a blog post. Let's look at an example here. So the visitor would read the blog post and then find a lovely call to action at the bottom of the blog post, and if interested, would click and go to a landing page to consider downloading this piece of content. So that is the traditional way. We had been doing it for quite a long time. But as you can see, now we have our conversion. We can track through the landing page and the call to action, but we haven't been able to track actual conversions with the blog post content itself. Now, with the rapid evolution of content marketing into the AI era, and the fact that we really need to be even more and more intentional and cognizant of putting out content that adheres to the framework, that's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, we at Yodelpop are developing better systems to track how content is performing and to make sure that we can stay ranking, stay at search everywhere by continuously tracking our content, tracking the performance, and seeing how it's performing, not only traffic wise, because traffic is one thing, but how we know we're really going to be meeting that search intent and how we know we're really speaking to our ideal prospect is if they convert on the content itself. And so traditionally, we haven't really seen this in terms of blog posts because we started out having those calls to action at the bottom of the blog post that would then lead to a landing page. Now, with the pop-up form in HubSpot, we have a better way to get conversion right on the blog post without being too disruptive to the content itself. First, this is a new tracking system that we're using. We're using both HubSpot dashboards, but we're also using a funnel tracking system. And this is part of our new Evergreen Content Funnel Masterclass. We're using a system where we're going to be tracking over time the performance even more closely of content to see how it's improving when we make changes to it. And we want to, again, be tracking those contacts over time. And right now, that's not exactly happening because of the way that we have our calls to action set up. We're finally going to take advantage of that pop-up form tool in HubSpot and set those up a little bit differently. So let me show you how we plan to do that. Here is a call to action in HubSpot. If you click on this, you're going to go right over to a landing page. That's the old traditional way that we always did things for many years before the pop-up form tool it was even live in HubSpot. And so now what we can do, and this is a way that you can do this without creating a lot of extra work. In fact, without even having to go into every single blog post where you might have a call to action. If you don't, strongly suggest that you start doing this for your blog content, because if we go back to talking about the new era of search everywhere, zero clicks, AI, is that you want to be not just seeing traffic, because there's all kinds of reasons you can be getting traffic for your piece of content. And many of those reasons that you're getting traffic for your content may not have to do with your ideal prospect's actual search intent. And so you might be getting the wrong kind of traffic, and all the while think you're doing great, right? Because you're getting a lot of traffic. Having a conversion path through your content is a way you're going to understand better how your content is actually performing for your ideal audience. And so if you don't yet have call to action, you don't yet have conversion paths set up for your content, this is a great way to do it. So we're going to take this old call to action that we've had in here for a really long time. And for now, we're just going to redirect it instead of to the landing page, which is a totally separate page in HubSpot that can convert with a form. We're going to have this same call to action pop up a pop-up form so that the visitor can just simply pop up the form and they can raise their hand by pressing this button and saying, yes, I do want to download this. What's next? And so then the next thing that happens is that they have a pop-up form come up right in front of them, right over the page, and then they can put in their information there. And this is going to register as a conversion to the actual page itself instead of to the landing page. Here we have this particular call to action right here. Right now, it goes to the landing page, but we want to switch it over to going to a CTA. So all we have to do is come in here, edit this CTA, click on that download button. Right now, it goes to one of your pages in HubSpot. So we want to change that. We want it to go to a CTA. You might be thinking, wait, this is already a CTA, but we want it to go to another CTA, pop-up CTA, right? So we're going to select our pop-up CTA. It's for the same asset. It's for the guide for an unforgettable nonprofit brand, but it's a different CTA. It's the pop-up CTA. So we're going to go ahead and review and update this. What I'm going to do is go back in here, refresh my page. And ideally now what I should be getting is the pop-up form. And there it is, the pop-up form. And so now when a visitor fills out this form, we are going to get credit to the actual page itself for conversion. And that's what we want to start seeing in the next 6 months to a year as we go back through optimizing our content for new search everywhere era that we are in with AI search and having Google double down on the EEAT guidelines to have human quality content out there on the internet that really speaks to your brand and speaks to the search intent of your ideal prospect. That's your goal now as we navigate through these changes. They're not just algorithm changes, they're changes in platforms, shifting away from Google and more into other types of platforms like Perplexity and ChatGPT search. The biggest takeaway of all of this is that you have at the core of your content that EAT content: experience, expertise, authority, and trust. If you have that, the packaging around it can change, but you have the core of the quality content that speaks to your brand's prospect. And that's what you really want to keep in mind. Not thinking that it's going to work from the inside out if only you do the right SEO or package your pages up a certain way. It's not really about that. It's more about working from the inside out. And then having really good analytics and tracking in place. And so this is a step we're taking to make sure that we have better tracking in place so that we can understand what kinds of folks are converting on this actual page itself so that we don't have to go digging for that through the landing page or the CTA, so that we can get that data more quickly and understand who's converting on this page. How is this content really performing, not just with traffic and views, et cetera, but with actual conversion, and how are those folks then engaging with our brand, and how are they moving through their journey with us? And that's the kind of way that you're really going to navigate through any changes on the internet or any of the tech, is really dialing in on your prospect's journey. What is their buyer journey? What is their content journey? You might as well think of content journey and buyer journey now as the same thing, because that's really what it is. We live in an era with a long evolution of content being the main marketing, the heart of a well-run content funnel program. And really focusing on your ideal prospect, their search intent, and how you're going to meet that with your expertise, authority, experience, and trustworthiness. These other things that we teach you about the packaging, or how to help your team track this kind of data and what to do with that data. That's the tool shed, right? Really, the soil and the plants that you have are really that garden that is going to, as you add more and more compost, that's the garden that is going to flourish and grow bigger and bigger over time, no matter what happens out there in the world. So I hope this has helped you, and especially if you're using HubSpot, to figure out how to better track your conversion, or even just to set up conversion in the first place on all of your content assets throughout your website so that you have a better view into the world of where your visitors are going when they get there and how they become your prospects and then how they become your customers, if you will. Again, I hope this has helped, and subscribe to our channel to see more and come back soon.